Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you on the road as we drive to work today. We're going to be talking about the upcoming Legends with JBL talk, which is going to be going down tonight on the WWE Network after Monday Night Raw. Honestly, Legends with JBL is a great show. The sit-down interview that JBL had with Eric Bischoff is one of the greatest interviews that I've seen on the WWE Network. I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. I love Chris Jericho. But honestly, in my mind, JBL is a great host. Everybody knows that he does his work with, I believe it's Fox Business, or maybe it's MSNBC. He's got a talk show on a real network where he talks about money and things like that. He's got a life outside of wrestling, which is weird that somebody like JBL would make it big like that. He had that book that came out years ago about how to manage your money, and I don't think it all did that well, but hey, at least the guy wrote a book. But tonight, honestly, you can think of all of the guest hosts, or not a guest host, but the guests that have been on these so-called podcasts or interviews on the network. Definitely Paige took some heat when she did the show with Stone Cold Steve Austin as not being as strong a guest as Triple H, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon. Big names like this. We've recently seen Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels do the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. But honestly, Road Dogg is a guy with a great career. Definitely he's not in the talk for the Hall of Fame because of the trouble that Billy Gunn just got into. But there's no doubt that in everybody's book, the New Age Outlaws, Badass Billy Gunn, Road Dogg Jesse James, they're going into the Hall of Fame someday. And to have him on there, honestly, I'd love to hear him talk about the DX stuff. I don't think that they'll go into the TNA stuff, but hey, you never know. I mean, JBL is a guy that sneaks some things in there. The show's not live, so I mean, if it's something they don't want on there, they could always edit out. But I would love to hear anything about BKM, the Voodoo Kin Mafia, if it starts to lead towards that direction. But the one thing that I really want to hear from him is the relationship that he has with him and Jeff Jarrett, which might be a taboo situation because of the fact that Jeff Jarrett is, the guy in charge of Global Force Wrestling. But I think as of right now, everyone can tell that Global Force Wrestling is not on the radar for WWE. Definitely, maybe some people thought that something might be coming out of this. They signed a whole bunch of big names to be on that TV taping, but no one's really, bit at the chance to put this show actually on television when they went out to try and shoot their pilot. They did their summer tour of all the ballpark fields, and it is what it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you see WWE start to soften its feel on Jeff Jarrett and let some things in there and hear what people have to say. I mean, as of right now, Jarrett has been an outsider because of, starting TNA and things like that. But definitely Global Force is not going to be dipping into WWE's pay pocket anytime soon, seeing how basically when they do their TV tapings, they do them in Las Vegas. And, WWE does go to Las Vegas once, maybe twice a year. It's normally for a house show. They haven't done a pay-per-view or I don't even think they've done a Monday Night Raw there in a real long time. But, we get to hear all those stories about DX running crazy in the streets, when they're at their heyday, and basically, Road Dogg, he's had his ups and downs. He got fired from WWE, and that's when he ended up leaving and going to WWE. Going to TNA, which actually made it where R-Truth became free because he was doing the tag team gimmick with Road Dogg, and basically when they split up, they didn't need K-Quick anymore, and that's when he basically split, went to TNA, and he became much of a bigger star than he was before. So I'm looking forward to Road Dogg on the show tonight. Like I said, it's one of the best shows. I wish it was more frequent instead of one popping up like every couple of months, because it seems like that Eric Bischoff one came out because Eric Bischoff wanted something on the WWE Network to air his grievances with what Paul Heyman said about Nitro and about Eric Bischoff, and even though Eric Bischoff is so far removed from wrestling as of right now, he wanted to basically be able to set his side of the story. Surprised a lot of people aren't talking about Eric Bischoff going into the WWE Hall of Fame. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but I think Paul Heyman's the guy. But at least Paul Heyman's on TV a couple times a year as the advocate for Brock Lesnar, and maybe that's one reason not to put him in there yet. But someday we'll get the leaders of ECW and WCW into there. But fun times. The Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and was it Ric Flair? I think it was those three talking about Undertaker. That one was all right, but that just seemed like too many guys with only one time to talk. Too many guys trying to get the story going in a different direction. And although it was good and it was a good two-parter, I much rather would have liked it if it was just all one guy talking to another guy instead of trying to bounce things off in 1,000 different directions. But looking forward to it. Going to be on the network right after Monday Night Raw. Hope everybody else is tuning in.